Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Stephanie.
And if you enjoy our show, please like and subscribe.
And hit that bell. Bell.
That's your one job.
I know, man. I say it proudly.
We're also on Instagram at TWiN, and you can mostly find us on the Twitter,
X.
Whatever. I don't care. The Prince and Princess of Wales will be highlighting the importance of mental health and well-being across the UK next week. On Mental Health Day on Tuesday, they will host a forum for young people, which will focus on understanding emotions and building positive relationships.
That's nice.
Now, of course, they're doing this because they started Heads Together. And obviously, William is very involved with mental health because his mom unfortunately went through it. His brother unfortunately has gone through it. And I'm sure other family members, but it's not his job to out those family members. Only those who outed themselves, Princess Diana and Harry. They've done an excellent job. They didn't do this to somehow upstage his brother because they started doing this before Meghan Markle even came into the scene.
Right.
And that's can all be proven by Heads Together.
And I love that video that you made of the three of them doing that special day on Mental Health Day. I think it was maybe 7-8 years ago, and it was really sweet.
I will put the link in the description below.
It's cool.
As far as Harry saying that he didn't get mental health treatment until he met Meghan, that is a complete lie, and we've proven it.
Yeah.
It was completely debunked, but he wants to keep going with that narrative. Let him go with that stupid narrative. So the Prince and Princess of Wales will be heavily involved next week doing things like that. But unfortunately, it wouldn't be normal everyday life if Harry and Meghan didn't find some way to try to upstage the situation, which it looks like they tried to do this very fast, and they had to call in a couple favors to even make an appearance here. Now, we all know William was a huge success in New York. People are still talking about it. William was like the Beatles when he was in New York. It was awesome.
So hot.
He was just... It was crazy. I've never seen anybody like a royal do that. It was just amazing. So he's definitely like loved, and it's hard to do that in New York. So yesterday, People magazine broke the story that Harry and Meghan will be returning to NYC. And it's going to be clashing with William and Kate because they're going to be speaking on Tuesday too. It has been revealed that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be making an appearance in New York City on Tuesday for World Mental Health Day on the same day Prince William and I don't know why they say Kate Middleton, Princess Catherine also carry out engagements for the same cause. First of all, we're going to establish in this video how it is not the same cause at all. That's why we're making this video. So don't worry, proof coming.
Whoever wrote this article is obviously biased by saying Kate Middleton. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not a journalist or whatever, and you're gonna, you're not Ted Koppel writing down, scribble here.
I love how they bring out the announcement of Harry and Meghan's returning to the city where they claim they were involved in a near catastrophic car chase in May. Now, what's interesting is that's all New York is talking about right now is like, I wonder if they're going to get another catastrophic car chase. Like, they tainted their image so bad. Why are they even going back?
I know, it's bizarre.
I also like how it says it came hours after William and Kate revealed their plans. So this is pretty pathetic. And then it goes on to say what the Prince and Princess of Wales will be doing. They just have tons of events next week. Engagements. And they really do put their best foot forward when they do mental health because it really does mean something to them. So I give them credit. I tip my hat to them for sticking with this subject for so many years and continuing with it. And it goes on to say about Harry and Meghan, they will host their first in-person Archwell Foundation event.
Now, what does that mean?
Right off the bat, that's not true. But again, we're going to have to prove that later in the video. The occasion will see the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Let's make sure we write that. Let's call Kate Middleton.
But we're going to put Duke and Duchess. Again, this isn't, Ted Koppel.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex provide a platform for parents to navigate mental health when it comes to the digital world. So this whole thing, you're going to love this thing that they're a part of, this nonprofit. It's all about like resources that kids can go to like stay clear of like misinformation and disinformation. But again, it's like that ideology that they want to drill in your head.
No, it's very cut off free speech at the pass. We're going to teach kids to think like us, and we're going to Meganize them, and it's going to be amazing. We're all going to think the same, and it's going to be sweet because no one then is going to bully anybody online, and we're all going to live in peaceful harmony in a communist regime.
Yes, it's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be wonderful, full of magic and rainbows.
They call it democratic socialism.
I can't wait.
That's their new word.
It's wonderful.
So here's the People magazine. It's pretty much the same thing, but they wanted to do an exclusive. So I skimmed the People magazine. What?
Sorry.
So Stephanie hasn't read this yet, and she just we had to stop the video just now because she just did a spit take with her Polar Springs because she skimmed it. Let me read what Stephanie just skimmed.
I always skim things looking for my name.
So they're going to be alongside the Surgeon General to discuss the importance of this work and explore potential solutions in a conversation moderated by Carson Daly, board member of Project Healthy Minds. The fact that it's Carson Daly to begin with, it's so funny, and we'll explain that in a second, but this is why I skimmed the People magazine article, because I wanted to see who was behind this, okay? First of all, this is not an Archwell Summit. This is a Project Healthy Minds Summit, an organization, nonprofit that I personally have never heard of before in my life.
He's a board member. Carson Daly is a board member.
Yeah. So it says the event will take place Tuesday, October 10th. So they're only speaking at this one thing on Tuesday. So they're flying to New York and they were jammed into this summit for this Project Healthy Minds because they needed to do something.
Well, what they're doing is piggybacking.
Yes.
That's what they're doing, basically.
And get this, it's only the second annual
festival
that this place.
What? Where's Ryan Seacrest? Is he going to show up?
Hopefully.
Man.
The first and largest of its kind in the country. Now listen to the description. Project Healthy Minds is a millennial and Gen Z driven nonprofit focused on tackling the growing mental health crisis and a longtime partner of Meghan and Harry's Archwell Foundation. I like how they put Meghan first. Stephanie, why did you laugh when you saw Carson Daly?
It's very, oh man. I just see Kardashians. I see Ryan Seacrest. I just see the scam unfolding, and it's just so fun. Carson Daly was a VJ on MTV.
Well, he got busted for SA. He got fired or something.
He got fired for being inappropriate to a woman.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was true because I'm not a Me Too person, but allegedly that's what was his downfall.
It's like when you see names and buzzwords, you have to laugh at them. Like I'm telling you,
he's just always been. No offense
goofy.
To Carson Daly, but he's never been taken seriously in America.
He hasn't. I'm sorry. That's true.
So for him to be emceeing. It's funny. It's funny.
But it's
no offense, Carson.
But it's so like it's so consistent to Harry and Meghan and what it's like. Hertz Rent-A-Car, Carson Daly. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's all these little things that you add up, and you're just like, oh my god,
yeah,
this is so pathetic.
It gets
the Marriott. You know.
Just wanted to mention the rest of the article, some funny parts.
Is Kris Jenner going to be there?
Kris Jenner is not going to be there, unfortunately. I was pretty upset about that. Harry and Meghan have long made mental health a key tenet of their public work and have supported World Mental Health Day in recent years. In 2020, Stephanie, what year is it?
2023.
Thank you. And is it going to be 2024 soon?
Yes.
In a couple months. In 2020, the couple joined the Teenager Therapy Podcast and spoke to 5 senior students at an Anaheim, California high school about prioritizing mental health. Harry and Meghan went and talked to 5 kids at a California high school. The appearance came after the couple relocated to Meghan's home state following their step back from royal life, blah, blah. And then they go on in the article to talk about the Oprah thing he did, the Me You Can't See, that weird Apple. Yeah. So it goes on to say, in the series, King Charles' son spoke about experiencing panic attacks, starting therapy, and processing the death of his mother, Princess Diana.
I believe that.
Even though he did that with his brother. His brother was proved that.
I believe that he has problems with that.
Yes. Harry also revealed that Meghan inspired him to seriously pursue therapy.
No.
It was Meghan.
It was William.
One thing I do believe is Meghan drove him to therapy.
Yeah, with a camera crew behind her.
I think no, not drove him. Like
drove him.
Emotionally drove him. Oh. She might have literally drove him.
Sorry, there's just so many funny things.
She might have drove him too, but emotionally drove him. It was meeting and being with Meghan. I knew that if I didn't do therapy and fix myself, that I was going to lose this woman who I could see spending the rest of my life with, he explained.
That's so culty. That's so culty. It's like it's like one of those things where it's like, if I don't do this, it's an ultimatum, but like a cult ultimatum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't do this for me, then I'm going to go off myself. You know, those type of things.
Yeah.
Like, ew, creepy.
It's very creepy.
She's so creepy.
So now we get to dive into Project Healthy Minds. What is this Project Healthy Minds?
Carson Daly's on the board.
Meghan and Harry have hitched their wagon to. Let's check this out, because so far they are just, I mean, they spoke to those 5 teenagers back in 2020 that this is their life's work now.
Jeez.
This is their life's work.
It's amazing.
So let's check it out.
I thought unconscious bias and you know.
Well, wait till you see all the board members and stuff. I mean, talk about diversity with this group too.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine with Carson Daly.
You just go to their website, and anyone can do this. I'll put the link in the description below. I think everyone should go there and check it out and see what I saw. And that's just the first thing you see. Mental health can feel like a maze. We're here to help you navigate. So they want you to click on that button, and then it gives you all those resources. Gives you all those things that they want you to click on. And then you go check out those resources. So it sounds like they're selling services again, but I'm not going to say that. Then they take you to the bottom of the page, and they say the mental health movement is here. Are you in?
Oh, God.
It will take all of us to create the change we need. All of us. After signing up, you will receive more information about ways to engage with Project Healthy Minds. So you got to give us your name, your last name, and your email.
Oh, God.
Give us that information, and then we'll send you more information, just like Archwell does.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
This got Doria all over it, man.
So see, again, if you've seen our other videos, this is a way for people to sell your information to telemarketers, to other countries. It's also
should be extremely illegal.
It's also a way for, I don't know, let's say big corporations, companies, forums like, I don't know, what's that one forum that keeps coming up? World Economic Forum. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hopefully it won't come up in this video. I don't know. It might, but hopefully it won't. World Economic Forum. They can get you all your information, but then on top of getting your information, they can find out what's wrong with you. They can find out what's wrong with your head and how to control you. So that's pretty much the overview of the Project Healthy Minds website as far as their services go. Now, if anybody has been here before, you know me, I like to see who's behind it. I like to peel back the onions. So I like to go see who the president is, the CEO, who the board members are, and who the advisors are, because I think that's the more interesting thing, because you want to see who you're sending your kids to.
And your information.
And your information.
I'm not going to just give out my information.
I know.
To any group.
So let's check it out, guys.
Crazy.
Let's do it together.
Sorry, it's not crazy.
You guys want to come on this little venture with us? Come on. Let's do it together.
We're off to see the
wizard. Well, the founder and CEO is a fella named Phil Schirmer. And Phil looks like a good guy. He's got a big old smile on his face. He looks like he's on top of the world. Let's read a little bit about Phil. Let's see what's going on with Phil. He's the founder and CEO a millennial Gen Z driven nonprofit. Okay, they're explaining what it is.
Buzzwords to get me to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial.
He's really concerned. Now, I got to give him credit. He's really concerned with the, growing mental health crisis, which that is true. Since the pandemic, we have seen,
Jeez.
I feel so bad for parents these days. I couldn't imagine raising a teenager. I
can't imagine raising a child right now. It would be terrifying.
An adolescent. Oh, I'd be terrified. So I tip my hat off to the people.
Yeah.
They want to destigmatize mental health. Sounds all good.
That sounds awesome.
You know what, Phil? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Sign up.
Yeah. Let's see what Phil used to do before he started this little thing. Prior to his current role, Phil worked at BlackRock. Now, I don't think Stephanie knows anything about BlackRock.
I don't know anything, but it sounds fun.
For those of you who don't know anything about BlackRock, don't worry. We'll get to that in a second. But I want you to keep that in your noggins. Keep the word BlackRock in your noggins.
Is it like Red Rock?
Oh, it's
better.
Get to hike? He was the chief of staff to the vice chairman. And then he went to the chief of staff of the global chief marketing. I mean, he sounds like he's just went up the ranks. He sounds like a go-getter. So let's keep that in our head. Let's keep that the CEO of this place, the founder of Project Healthy Minds, used to be a social climber over at BlackRock.
Fun.
Okay. So then you get to the board of directors and the diversity so far that I've seen within this group. Carson Daly, Phil, and now Jackie. So the board of directors, you would think, are people like maybe that have something to do with psychiatry, mental health, backgrounds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, know what they're doing.
You know what I found? I found that's not the case. What? Not the case with these people. This was the first one that came up. And again, you can all go on here and check out each board of director. I have never seen so many board of directors on a board in my life. I don't know why there's so many board of directors. It's a little creepy. Let's check out what Jackie's all about. She is a part of digital workflow stuff, talent strategy. She sounds like she's in the entertainment industry. She's really into growing the global workforce. Anytime you hear global, you know that's good. Oh, look, she served as the co-chair of the World Economic Forum Future of Work Task Force. That's amazing.
Wow.
Now, we all remember the World Economic Forum, too.
I don't.
Okay, let's keep that in our head, too. Stephanie, you keep track of
BlackRock.
And World Economic Forum.
Got it.
I want you to keep track of those two things.
I will remember that.
Okay. So then we get to the advisors. Again, the diversity on this little nonprofit is amazing.
A rainbow.
Yeah, so we've got the advisors, and they're all, again, kind of in the entertainment industry. Westbrook Incorporated. Let's see what she's into. Tara.
I know Westbrook.
I know.
Boyfriend got checks from them every
week. You did, because Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith's media company. Yeah. You were. Stephanie, for a time.
For 5 years, I used to cash
those checks from Westbrook Incorporated. Stephanie's boyfriend was Will Smith's stuntman. And she happily would spend that money. Mm-hmm. And I would help her spend that money as well. It was a lot of fun.
Scooter Braun. Biggest jerk in Hollywood.
Yes. Do you want to give a little background
Scooter
on Scooter
Braun?
Braun
Is a snake. He manages people like Justin. Well, he used to. He used to manage people like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, people like that. But he also has this slimy way of going around and buying people's music and not giving them the rights.
Didn't he do that to Taylor Swift?
Did it to Taylor Swift,
okay. Nancy. So I wasn't able to find a couple doctors hidden inside the advisor crew.
She's a registered nurse.
I apologize. And then there's this guy. He's part of a mood disorder center for Johns Hopkins University. I really couldn't find a lot of information on him. I don't think he works for them anymore, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Allegedly.
But let's see who else we've got for advisors. And again, the diversity so far is blowing my mind with this nonprofit.
Really stepping up.
Wow.
Man. They really listened.
Okay, so we got Susie, Strategic Communications. That's not a doctor. Michelle Bernstein.
I know who is that?
She's Mishi B Incorporated.
Right.
Yeah, she's another LA power
Right.
player.
She sounds very familiar.
Yes. Here's Glenn, Viacom. Is Viacom a mental health?
No.
Is they a psychiatry?
No, it's another one of Scooter Braun's little minions.
Okay, gotcha. Gosh.
Another one of
Let's see,
Kris Jenner's minions.
Peggy. Oh, Harvard graduate. They've been cranking out some good programs.
Well,
lately.
What's interesting to me too is Harvard Graduate School of Design. That's so interesting because last week's episode of the Kardashians, who spoke at Harvard Graduate School of Design? Who was a guest speaker?
I don't know. You watched it.
Kim Kardashian was the guest speaker.
That's great. Elisa, NBC Universal. Now, last time I checked, that was in a mental health program. Come on, Elisa. We can do better than that. Will. Will's got to be part of some sort of psych community. Oh, no, wait. He's a global brand ambassador for Reddit.
Oh, man.
Anne. Now, okay, wait. Anne's not part of entertainment.
Okay.
Let's see what Anne's part of.
BlackRock.
I
remember. You told me to remember that name.
Okay, so you got BlackRock in there, Steph?
Yeah.
Okay, so Stephanie can remember BlackRock. I hope you guys at home do too. Michael Sabelli. Oh, wait, Michael Sabelli is part of a creative talent agency. Last time I checked, that wasn't mental health. Okay. These advisors,
the opposite
so far,
of mental health.
These diverse advisors for this project, this nonprofit, are just blowing me away. The people that they're getting.
It seems like the people they're getting are very immersed in the entertainment industry,
Yes.
which brings in a paycheck.
We've got Trevor from Amazon Music. He's got to be great at advising this place for telling parents to send their kids over to them. Wow. Hey, Brad.
Oh, another
Westbrook.
That's Will Smith.
Hi, Brad.
What's up, dude?
Amy Copeland. I know Amy.
Yep.
She's married to Will Copeland. Let's see what Andrew's part of. Oh, Andrew's Universal Music Group.
Okay, we've got another Scooter Braun crony.
David, Group M. I know Group M isn't mental health. I know what Group M is. Group M is another entertainment. Well, Greg, that's refreshing. Greg is part of New Leaf Climate Partners. Now, New Leaf Climate Partners wants you to invest in climate stuff that Nancy Pelosi's son is pushing. So good for Greg. Good for Greg.
So what you're saying is that everybody on this board and the advisors have an agenda?
I don't know. Morning Brew, that radio station. Would Alex be part of that?
Yeah, it looks like it's the co-founder and the executive chairman.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because Carson Daly is a board member too. I bet you Alex, since they both work for Morning Brew, work together.
I wonder if there's any tie.
I'm sure there's a connection.
Wow. And again, the diversity. Look at this David guy.
Do you want to read what David's part of?
Oh, Global Client Partnerships. Netflix. What are the odds, Nancy Sidley? What are the odds?
Makes sense how Meghan and Harry could just worm their way into this summit.
I mean, everybody's wondering how they got a seat at that table.
You know, it was the diversity part, I'm sure. They were like, you know what? We are such a diverse nonprofit of people.
Yes.
And we want to keep with that attitude. And so we're going to have Prince Harry, who's never been around diversity in his life, and we're going to have his wife, who suddenly magically has been 43% Nigerian all of a sudden. And we're going to have them speak to a bunch of parents about kids and their social media habits. That's what we're going to do.
It's really scary.
That's what we're going to do.
You're really scary that you're reading about how these kids are having depression and anxiety over social media, but every single board member and every single advisory person is a social media conglomerate, basically.
And can you remember BlackRock? You remember we were talking about BlackRock? Is it now? Where did we first see BlackRock?
It was the head guy.
It was the
head
founder and the president. Good old Phil. He was
Healthy Mind.
Yeah. So what's BlackRock?
Sounds fun.
So on their website, it says about BlackRock in the US, they're all over the world. We're an assess manager and one of the world's leading providers of investment advisory and risk management solutions. We're a fiduciary to our clients, and by investing on their behalf, we help millions of hardworking Americans experiencing financial well-being. They, take your money like, oh, I don't remember. Who was that guy in the news? He was years ago, Bernie Madoff. Let's just say him because, everyone knows who he was. They take your money and they invest it for you.
Let's say a guy named Bernie Madoff took your money.
That's just an example.
Let's just say hypothetically a guy like Bernie Madoff took Kevin Bacon's money.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. So BlackRock is an investment firm. That's kind of like what I get from it. Okay, guys. But I've heard BlackRock a million times. I hear that, they buy up a lot of land. They like to buy up houses. And then once they buy up those houses, they rent the houses because they're like, you don't need to own a house. They're like, after the 2008 market crash, they bought up a bunch of houses. They're like, don't worry about it, guys. You don't need to own your own house anymore. Just rent from us. We'll take care of it. Give us your money to invest. You will not own anything and you're going to love it because we'll have the burden on us and you just live, you work, go to work every day. You work for the masses and then you just come home on your bikes and your electric cars and we'll just take care of everything. It's cool. Guys, it's cool. The reason why Stephanie hasn't heard of BlackRock is because they don't want you to hear about BlackRock. Stephanie, my sister, reads more, you're more of the liberal centrist.
I'm not political.
You're not political. Luckily for BlackRock, they own things like Graham Media, Slate, CNN, CBS, Fox, Disney, Comcast. They've got their, they're in everything, so that way, you don't really hear about them. And so, by owning a place like Comcast owns Sky, NBC, CNBC, MSNBC. So they can control all that. They can control what you're reading. Things like, USA Today, just stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about it. They're going to tell you what to think, okay? Because they own it. So it's no big deal. So that's BlackRock so far, okay? Also have their toes dipped in the Federal Reserve. By doing that, the governments kind of just leave you alone. They leave you alone. They're not going to mess with you as much. And by leaving you alone, by the Fed and the Treasury, let's say, I don't know, this is so stupid. I'm just going to throw it out there. This is so dumb. I mean, this is right off the top of my head. But let's say, I don't know, BlackRock's up to some fishy business and Congress, let's say a senator named, I don't know, I'm going to name a Democratic senator because, I'm going to name a progressive Democratic senator like Elizabeth Warren. Sometimes Elizabeth Warren does make sense. So if Elizabeth Warren hadn't been so stupid when she did that whole Cherokee indigenous princess thing, she would have been taken a lot more seriously during this back and forth. But Janet Yellen was able to get the drop on her. So Elizabeth Warren is basically asking her, how come there's no oversight when it comes to a company like BlackRock? And then she's like, well, we can't really do that. And then Elizabeth Warren's like, well, you guys are the federal government. Isn't that the whole point? So just listen to this interaction. It's really good.
Secretary Yellen, just hypothetically, if a $9 trillion investment company failed, would that likely have a significant impact on our economy?
Well, Senator Warren, I believe it's important to look very carefully at the risk posed by asset management industry, including BlackRock and other firms. It's not obvious to me that designation is the correct tool to address.
Well, now, wait just a minute. Designation is what gives the Fed its increased oversight power. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
And is BlackRock currently designated so that it receives that increased oversight?
It isn't designated, but I think it's important to understand.
So that means it is not receiving the increased oversight from the Fed. So my question is, are you currently looking at designation for companies like BlackRock, $9 trillion companies like this?
Well, as I said, FSOC has looked at this issue in the
I
past.
understand they've done it in the past. I'm not
And did
asking about
not-
what the last Secretary of the Treasury did. You are the head of FSOC
Well,
now.
the
And the question I'm
previous-
asking is whether or not FSOC is considering and looking at designation for these large financial institutions.
Well, I think it's appropriate to designate institutions whose failure would pose a material risk to U.S.
And that's
financial
why I started
stability.
my question with, does potentially a $9 trillion investment company pose some risk to the American economy if it should fail?
Well, one needs to analyze what the risk is. An asset management company is
So
very
how do
different than
you
a bank.
analyze what the risk is if you're not actually doing the investigation through FSOC?
Well, FSOC has undertaken such work in the past. And as I said, when it looked at asset managers, it issued a report outlining what it saw as some of the most significant risks
So I
from
appreciate
those
that they've done this
industries.
in the past. Are you continuing that investigation now?
Well, I'm just beginning a work program with FSOC, and certainly risk from asset management will be on the list.
So good for Senator Elizabeth Warren. I give her props. She was pressing her. Janet Yellen is a Biden administration appointee. She did not have to do that as a Democrat, and I give her props for doing that. Good for her. But unfortunately, Secretary Yellen did not budge on this. She's basically saying, we're just not going to look at them that much. Now, I'm just trying to rack my brain on why the last three administrations, and especially the Biden administration, is not wanting to give any oversight to this huge company. There's just no oversight. And we oversight everything. Like if Elon Musk sneezes, we got to do oversight. It's just so interesting to me why they're just protecting this company. Let's just read a little bit more about BlackRock. In 2021, BlackRock was exposed for buying multiple homes and, in many cases, entire neighborhoods, then converting them into rentals. Oh my gosh. And it wasn't going after multifamily apartments that are built for rentals. Instead, it focused on one single family homes that are the property of choice for American home buyers. So they were going after homes. They wanted to take your home so they can rent it. So then they jacked up the price of the rental. The result that the houses have gotten too expensive, causing families to rent the homes they would have bought. Well, being the sleuth I am, you're going to love this. I want to introduce you to someone. Let's meet Mike Donilon. Let's see what Mike Donilon does. He's an advisor and consultant to President Biden since 1981. He's been there a while. Now, the Washington Post describes him as Biden's conscience, his alter ego, and shared brain. And I've actually heard this sentiment before, like in the Times and stuff. I've heard that he's Biden's brain. And I've always heard this guy's, I've never actually seen him and I've never actually seen a picture of him. But I thought to myself, I'm just going to see who his longest advisor is, because that's got to be the guy who's kind of like behind the scenes, because somebody else is like pulling the strings right now. You know, there's got to be more to this. It can't be all Karine Jean-Pierre. He's a longtime advisor. He's held significant influence over Joe Biden's successful 2020 campaign for president. He helped develop Biden's campaign strategy that had a three-pronged message. I remember this message: that the election was about the soul of the nation, that the threatened middle class was the backbone of the nation, and that what was most needed was to unify the nation. I remember all this. I was there. I was literally riding with Biden. Only Biden could restore the nation's soul, repair its backbone, and unify it. This is really about character and values as opposed to issues and ideology, said Mike, Biden's chief strategist, when speaking to the New York Times. In November 2020, he became the senior advisor to the president. Wanted to do a little, what's up with his personal life? Who is this guy? What's his deal? Does he have any brothers or sisters? Oh, look, that's weird. His brother is BlackRock's Investment Institute chair. That just seems like a conflict of interest. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like if another president had done this, it would have seemed weird to have your advisor be part of this huge conglomerate that's buying up property constantly and putting people out on the streets and kind of running the world. But I guess it's okay because he's been with Biden since 1981. So his brother is BlackRock's Investment Institute chair, Tom. So Stephanie, what was that last part that I asked you to keep up in your head?
World Economic Forum.
The World Economic Forum. So they're also involved this Project Healthy Minds in the World Economic Forum. That has to do with our good friend Klaus Schwab. And we all know about Klaus Schwab. He wants to globalize the world. He's very highly involved with people like George Soros. And we've mentioned George before on the show. Now, BlackRock is partners with the World Economic Forum. So that's convenient too. I'm just glad that BlackRock could just be part of everything. So in closing, the CEO of Project Healthy Minds, the place that Meghan and Harry are going to have probably an hour next week on Tuesday.
Are they a panel?
It's like a panel or something.
Yeah, okay.
Carson Daly's going to do it.
No, I know, but is it like one of those panels at a con or something?
They're going to be on a panel with the Surgeon General.
Right, okay, got it.
Good old Phil is a former BlackRock employee. So it's all tied in. You're welcome. I think I might have broken Stephanie's brain.
No, it's not.
So I just wanted to say that. So when the Sussex squad gets all excited, which they're already doing over on Instagram, they're like, I saw one Sussex squad say, Meghan and Harry are hanging out with the major players now because they saw that the Surgeon General was going to be on their panel. Guys,
it's like standing at by the World Trade Center that time that they went with the mayor. It's just like, it's ridiculous.
The outgoing mayor.
It's just ridiculous cosplay. It's just ridiculous.
It's really bad. So I'm glad you guys stuck around for this. I hope you learned something. I'll put all those links on there so you can read it for yourself.
I'm not making Braun scares me.
Yeah, all that scares me.
And they all lead back to Harry and Meghan.
When Sussex Squad talks about how great this is, that they're going to be doing this, it's not that great. It looks like Netflix and their people got a
looks
hold
like
of
the music industry,
yeah,
Netflix, and the Kardashians.
We need them on a panel.
Yeah.
Well, we can put them with the Surgeon General and Carson Daly. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we need it to be on Tuesday, on Mental Health Day.
Definite pay to play situation.
So, definitely.
I want to talk a little bit about that on our live on Sunday about the IRS going after Archwell, because there's a lot of juicy little tidbits on that, because they obviously are getting funding to do these kind of appearances, because no one's just calling them up on the phone and like, hey guys, are you available this week? Cool, come on by.
Yeah.
People are funding it. Now the IRS is going to get involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it has to at this point.
At this point,
I mean, hopefully
you got Doria behind half of those charities.
Yeah.
You think the IRS isn't going to check in on that?
We're going to talk about all of this on Sunday. We're going to get your feedback. We want to hear what you have to say about it. So catch our live show on Sunday. Hayes Dog Rescue is Happy Go Lucky Mastiff Rescue. They've been doing amazing work lately. They don't just adopt mastiffs. They've been taking pit bulls out of high kill shelters in New York. So I want to give them a little love. If you can't give them any love, just pass their information off to a friend and family.
And I just want to apologize if you guys are hearing a head shake. That's my dog. My poor dog, Luna, has an ear infection. I had to give her a bit. Look at that right there. If you guys can hear that.
I don't think
you have the volume on. I'm just saying, if you ever heard any head shaking, that was my dog, Luna. I apologize for the noise. Yeah. She has an ear infection. We're trying to get that taken care of. So she's a sweet baby, and she was an adoption, a pit bull adoption.
Yeah, and Stephanie knew this going in because I had an English bulldog, and they have the same ears. And that poor thing, because it rains in Portland, and we got our first rain last week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it sucks because we try to keep them on the awning, but then they want to run out in the yard, and then you're like, stop.
They want to play and they want to walk, and it's like, okay, we'll do it. We can't say no to them.
I actually bought a hood for my English bulldog, and he did not like wearing it. I bought like a raincoat.
I'm not going to do that to Luna.
And Luna won't do it either. So,
well, I wouldn't do that to her. She's 8 years old. I'm not going to put her through that now in life.
So we'll see you guys very soon.
All right.
Thanks for
guys.
joining us.
Bye. Good
Bye.
sleuthing, Nancy. Bye, guys.
Bye.